This week on Whiskey Movie Club, we're drinking stolen whiskey that we bought and talking Hobbs and Shaw and why you should see it.
Irish whiskey drives me nuts, yeah, whiskey makes me crazy. Stuff makes you kick my allergies a bit lazy. Irish whiskey drives me nuts, yeah, whiskey.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one. You tell me when, Travis.
That's good.
Jason, you tell me when. You had a bad week, so you want just the whole bottle.
No. Let's start with there. I can always get more.
You can
We
re-up.
can always re-up.
There we go. And let's taste it. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is stolen whiskey. You and I saw this at the liquor store a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And because we're both a sucker for a cool and clever label,
It says stolen whiskey, 11 years, as in they stole it the year before it was finished and bottled it and sold it to us.
it's amazing. And they have stolen rum and stolen vodka. I actually have no idea if it's any good. It had a tag on here that said it won some award. And
It was like the points at the liquor store thing. They gave it a 92 out of 100.
Yeah. And the liquor store guy said it was really good, but he and I also were talking about movies. You're not very smart.
So fuck you, guy at the whiskey
Well, hold on.
store.
Let's see if it's good. And before we get into it, like, this is neat. This is really cool. This little label, this little red strap that comes across the top that says "This is stolen." I like that.
I
It's a
like
cool
it
shape
too,
of bottle.
but
the cleverness
I
of it.
think on the logistics of it, if you've stolen whiskey, why would you put a tag on it saying this is stolen?
Because
I guess
it's
you
cute
want to tell
marketing.
everyone. Yeah, it's smart. I
Cute
get
marketing,
it.
and they got the Sharpie marked
That's
out.
so good.
It's not Sharpie. It's like it's raised.
It's embossed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really plays into there was a legitimate label behind there, and they
There's a
stole
story.
it,
And
and
then
then
just painted
they
over.
scribbled that out and wrote "stolen whiskey."
Mark against it. It's
Made
from
from-
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Ooh.
So this is
We were
the
just talking
Florida
about
man's
the
whiskey.
Florida man of whiskey. Yeah. So let's see if it tastes like the Florida man of whiskey.
Maybe this is the cause of all of his problems.
It's kind of fruity.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It's not the worst I've ever had.
I like it. It's got a weird
It,
It's
profile.
it's
it feels like it's missing something. It feels
it does.
hollow, kind of.
Like the flavor just kind of fades away at the end there, and I feel like I'm not getting something.
There's a flavor in there I can't put my finger on that's different than other.
It is different.
I'm wondering if this is psychological, and I said it's a Florida whiskey that you're
No.
like it tastes like swamps and hillbillies.
No, it does not taste like
Tastes like
swamp
a
or
sad
hillbillies
day at
as far
Disney
as I know.
World.
It might. I don't know.
Tastes like screaming kids,
In long lines.
alligators, and
It tastes like humidity.
okay. So before we jump into Hobbs and Shaw, let's talk about our trailer of the week, which to me it's no contest. It's Sam Mendes' new movie 1917, and not just because it's Sam Mendes, but I'm a sucker and I fucking love any movie about World War I. There's not enough of them, but my Lord and Savior, the person I worship, Roger Deakins was the DP for it. So it's, Roger Deakins is teaming up with Sam Mendes for the first time since Skyfall. And Skyfall was nominated for an Academy Award for the Best Cinematography because Deakins is a fucking god.
He is.
He is a god. So I couldn't be more excited about it. What do you guys think?
I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer alone had me kind of like on edge, just from them going like, the stakes are real high. You've got a real short amount of time. Go.
I love any
There's
movie
your
where at the
mission, go.
beginning it says, here's the mission, and they light the fuse, and now like you just sit back and just gonna, it's you know this is gonna be a really intense movie.
Right, it's that ticking clock right down the wire. Are they going to do it? Aren't they going to do it? And I assume they're going to do it. Accomplish the mission, but you never
I
know
know, it's
these
World
days.
War I. They would just send like 100,000 people, in a no man's land, hoping they can get there, and they get mowed down by, machine guns, mustard gas, and all sorts of other ungodly machines.
So I'm looking forward to it. The trailer, the photography looks beautiful. I like the tension just from the
The
trailer.
shot of all the soldiers running screen right to screen left, and the main character running towards the camera, just like
parallel,
across the flow of stuff, and just things blowing up. I don't know what's going on in that scene. If he's just trying to find his brother, if he's trying to just stay alive, and he's like, nope, I'm out of here, or if he's trying to get to someone in charge or something to get the attack called off. But either way, I think it's going to be one of the most intense scenes I've seen in the theater for a while.
even if I didn't know it was Sam Mendes and Deakins, with the amazing cast, we'll get into the cast in a second, just based on that trailer, 100% in. Just 100%. I was like, yes, 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 please. With a side of, yes, please. Like, keep it coming.
I'm also a big fan of the end of the trailer, where like at the beginning, it like bookends it, where he's telling them, hey, you've got a brother in this particular regiment, right? Well, we're hoping with your help that we can keep him alive. You need to get there and warn him of this ambush they're about to go run into. You've got a couple of days to get there. And then at the end of the trailer, he's just like, good luck. Like why are you still standing here? And they're just like,
clock has started. Let's
you're
go."
telling me that it's up to us.
That's it.
All right, like, it's a lot to take in.
The cast is Richard Madden from Game of Thrones. Yep. You know, Rob Stark, Benedict Cumberbatch, Mark Strong, Andrew Scott from, I know him from Sherlock Holmes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Colin Firth, who is amazing. Yeah. And Dean Charles Chapman, who was also in Game of Thrones. He was Tomlin Baratheon,
Yes.
or, you know, Tomlin, what's that house? The incestual, like, Lannister. Yes, Lannister. He's technically like
House incest.
Yes, he's Tomlin Lannister, right? Is that Tomlin, right? Is it Tom? It's not Tom. No one in Game of Thrones is named Tom. That's like
Joe.
No, it's like
John?
Bob.
Like John, I don't know, like Sand or something.
Bob
Sand
Smith
with the other
III of House Baratheon, first of his name. Like, father of dragons. No one's named Bob. But it's got a great cast. I'm saying I'm a lot, but I'm really excited about this movie. There's, nothing I'm not excited about.
Yeah, that's
So,
great.
speaking of pure, unbridled enthusiasm, Hobbs and Shaw, or the Fast and the Furious present Hobbs and Shaw, which, let's just put a little asterisk in the Fast and the Furious. The only thing about this that makes it Fast and the Furious is two things. A,
Hobbs and the other one Shaw.
yeah, that's it. Oh, and the NOS shot, shot, or whatever, the famous shot where they're in the engine is
Into
following,
the engine and
that
the exhaust, all that.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you could rename this, like, you know, you could have called it. There's no racing. I mean, there's a car chase.
No, there's a couple of car chases. There's the one where he's in the McLaren, and the big one at the end, the helicopter.
Let's take a step back. So you and I saw it.
Yes. Sorry,
Jason, because you have a
what'd you
wife and a real job.
Because of work got in the way of having fun. I didn't get to see our movie this week, so I may just be asking these guys some questions, and they're going to try to tell me about the film without spoiling it.
Yeah, and then we're going to spoil the hell out of it. But we'll ask you to leave because there are two cameos in here that, honest to God, it might be one of my favorite cameos that I've experienced.
So and I think because they kept the cameos under
Right,
wraps.
they're
so well.
still not listed in IMDb.
Yeah.
They didn't show up in trailers. And if someone tries telling you that they saw people in this movie, just fucking punch them and walk away. Like, because that's a dick move.
Well, we'll get into that
Yes,
a bit
yes.
later, but I think it's funny because in one of the 4 post-credit scenes, one of those cameos makes a Game of Thrones spoiler.
Right.
We're full circle.
Wow.
Like a full season
he
8
breaks
end
down.
of the thing. It's like, I can't believe this happened in Game of Thrones.
Well, it's long enough. But like I was leaving the theater, I was like, yeah, because he talks about, you know, them falling in love, having sex with his aunt, and then having to kill his aunt. Wait, you've seen Game of Thrones, right? Okay, it's like, but like,
haven't.
so when you haven't?
Not the last
Well, the movie
season.
already spoiled it for you.
And I've already known
But
that.
the last episode was in May, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Not really though. We're at this movie came out like yesterday, which was the first day of August. When did they shoot it? Like, it was just that last scene in that one room.
I bet you they like went back in and did that post scene.
Yeah, because they could just shoot Man X. He is a man. In this room, they could have shot it.
They
you
could
know,
have done
any back
whatever.
lot,
Yeah, blah, blah,
someone's
blah, blah, blah,
garage.
blah, yeah.
That's the least of the two cameos. Like, because that one was funny, and you're just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. The one in the middle is great. So let's take a huge step back.
I feel like I'm not a part of this.
You're not
job.
on the inside of job. Let's talk about what this movie's about. This has a very
Real quick, Jason, because you didn't see the movie, what do you think happened in this movie, just from your knowledge of the Fast and Furious franchise
There's
and the
probably
trailers?
a heist of some sort. There's the big bad with some cool technology, probably, and two guys that don't like each other have to kind of team up and save the day.
You pretty much
Yeah,
nailed
that's
it.
it. Yeah, that's. I mean, there's car chases. The cars aren't really a big part of it. Like, although in the last couple Fast and the Furious movies, they're not really racing movies anymore either. They're as much a racing movie as
They're
are
heist
submarine movies.
Ever since 5, where they full on were like, okay, we're just going to do heist movies now.
Right.
Where they stole a safe with cars. And they've just been heist movies where cars are kind of the like central part of their
I mean, this is just as much a car movie as any James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drive cars, they do cool shit in cars, but every action movie does that. This is a movie. All this movie is an excuse to put Hobbs and Shaw in a movie to just talk shit at each other for 90 minutes.
And get into fistfights with other people.
Yeah.
It benefits highly from the director being from a stunt fight background. They are amazing fight scenes, and sometimes real humorous.
It's just one joke after another of them ragging on each other.
One-upping each other and just like callbacks to other scenes.
Well, let me ask you this.
See it this weekend.
You see it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm on IMDb and I'm just kind of scrolling through the text stuff. Do you know how long the movie is?
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, so you looked it up.
Yeah.
Okay, but had you not looked it up? Because I didn't look it up.
It's something like that, right?
Yeah, no, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Which I didn't know that. Like, honestly, like if you had asked me that, I would have been like, 90 something minutes.
I knew it because I looked it up watching it. I was going through. I was like, I don't feel like I've been here for 2 hours.
Really quick.
Yeah.
It's the complete antithesis to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Which is about 30 minutes longer. Feels 2 hours longer.
Yeah, I'd say this movie is right at the perfect like point. They like cut out whatever they needed to in editing to keep things moving along. Had it been any longer, it would have
totally.
felt like too long. But
This is a movie that's heavily reliant on the chemistry of The Rock and Jason Statham.
yeah,
Like you trade them out for anyone else, the movie doesn't work.
yeah, I would say kind of going back to your question, this feels like a Fast and Furious movie that knows what it is and then kind of pokes fun at itself.
Okay.
That's
like
true.
it's almost a satirical take on Fast and the Furious, like it just being kind of outside of the main like franchise like series and being the spin-off. They have a lot of like inside jokes to the things. They make a joke about like, oh, you did that thing with your eyebrows or whatever, referring to like The Rock like as The Rock.
Yeah.
So like he's in there's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know things with my eyebrows. Like, yeah, you do that thing where you like wiggle your eyebrows around.
really meta movie.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, okay. They make a reference to the Italian Job. I'm sure there's others that I just missed.
Dude, I can't wait for this to be out on digital so I can watch it on repeat. Like this is a movie I'm really excited about. And it's crazy because like as far as films go, this isn't very good. Like the jokes are funny.
It's not going to win any awards.
No, and the action sequences are beyond absurd. Physics plays no role in it. Like this isn't grounded in any real reality other than humor. But it's still, for me, it's the most fun I've had at the theater this year. And I say that because Spider-Man is probably my favorite movie of the summer. But because that was much more of an emotional ride, and it was a much more heavier movie, this, I showed up, checked out of the shitty world for 2 hours and 35 minutes, laughed my ass off, had a great time, and that was it. Like, it was just it was a party. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think you've mentioned before we started shooting, Spider-Man is the better movie, like hands down. But,
It's a good film.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's great storytelling. It's great characters. This is just action and fun and humor perfectly balanced together. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's along the same lines as Jumanji in a lot of ways for me. It's just ridiculous. It's borderline pointless, but like I have zero regrets about seeing it last night, and I would make that decision again 100 times. And the cast is good. I mean, obviously Jason Statham and The Rock are great, but Idris Elba, I'll watch him in any role. He's amazing. I mean, that's obvious. Anything Idris Elba is
He was
in.
the bad guy. Was he
Great. Good.
Yeah.
I was a little worried because I think the last thing I saw him as a villain in was Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, but
And that was like, I don't think his performance in that was lacking. I think that movie just had problems. And so it was like, I don't know, I always see him as like kind of the rough around the edges sort of detective or
Yeah, but, like,
Heimdall.
What was the first thing you saw him in?
The first thing
For
I
me,
saw-
was The Wire, and he was a bad guy in The Wire.
yeah,
He was
okay.
terrifying.
Yeah.
He's great.
I was going to say the first thing I saw him in was BBC show where he's the
Lou? No, it starts with an L, right?
Luther.
Luther, yeah.
Yeah.
Luther.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah.
And it's like he's kind of an anti-hero in that, but it was like I don't know, like a straight villain. I have to go back and watch.
He was
The
fun.
Wire.
I mean, it's a ridiculous premise. Like it's absolutely. He's like a weird iron. He's got the heads up display built into his eyes.
Yeah,
like he's like Iron Man.
Okay.
The concept is like some secret organization's trying to like take the next step in human evolution through like technology, and so he has
Super
all
soldier tech
yeah.
type
So he has all this like implants and augmentations and stuff that they don't really specify, other than like they've given him a new spine,
Yeah.
and he has fancy eyes that can like predict like when attacks are coming.
You kind of see stuff in slow motion. Yeah. It's got in some ways a similar storyline to the most recent Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay.
Where it's it's a secret organization trying to wipe humanity off the planet because they're corrupt and they're destroying the planet.
Gotcha.
It's very similar premise. Obviously, Mission Impossible Fallout is a better film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of that movie.
I would say the. I was going to say this is like Spectre if they were the group of internet trolls who are like Thanos is right. Like you take those people and mush them together
Yeah.
and like give them technology
Yeah.
and like funding.
Way more fun than
That's
Spectre, though.
yeah. And then sit around boardroom table.
What a ridiculous fucking movie. With Christoph Waltz, no less. Like, how you have to work your ass off to make Christoph Waltz not charming.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
Like, how do you do that? And I say Sam Mendes directed that movie, and he's great. I'm excited about his next movie. How do you fuck that up? Anyway,
Back to casting.
back to casting Vanessa Kirby.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
She gives such great face in this movie. Like her reaction to the scene where she's it's not Heidi. What's her character's name? Starts with an H. Anyway, Haiti Shaw from our notes. Haiti Shaw. So she's Jason Statham's sister in the movie, and there's a scene where he like walks up to some chick and they just start making out, and she gives the greatest like weird sibling face because it's weird to see.
Dude, I
her.
want to see her in more comedies. She it's weird.
good.
She goes from like The Queen. She does a couple movies, including Mission Impossible Fallout, which again, where this is a very similar movie. But then to this, how do you go from The Queen to this? Like her comedy's perfect. Her face, like she's got a comedy face.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean she's funny looking, but she can deliver those, like you said, those
Great
expressive
expressions
eyebrows.
and just really well done. And then on top of just like seeing her in action like moments and it'd be like, yeah, I believe that she's a badass. Like
Totally.
it didn't seem forced or like it's like weird stunt double CGI or anything like.
Although she did
awkward.
infect herself with a virus.
She
is
had limited options.
Well, no, that's fine. Whatever. We saw that in another Mission Impossible movie. We've seen that in various other films, but it didn't slow her down much.
No, well, I was kind of wondering that too. I was like, okay, so she's gonna be like getting sick or whatever, and they have to figure that out. But they kind of throw it away with the like one line where they're like, "Oh, the virus is still in its capsules."
Time released.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Dude,
Just like Advil.
yeah, and so it's like just micro nanobot capsules that are in her blood because they haven't been programmed
And
to
they can do
infect any
anything you want.
specific DNA.
It makes
yet.
no sense. This plot is the most ridiculous, nonsensical, like,
Fast and Furious is in the title, so
dude, no, this
Nothing
is
makes sense.
by far, like, there is a scene, and it's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, where they're stringing all these, like, hot rods together to weigh down a fucking helicopter that the bad guy's in, and that there's a chain connecting all these cars, all these hot rods to the helicopter, trying to keep him from taking off. It's got the bad guy in it, and the chain breaks, and so The Rock, he's pulling like a Captain America, and he's like pulling them together, and it's like, no, like you're gonna get ripped in half. The Rock's guts will be all over American Samoa.
No,
Like
his hand would just give way.
he'd be like a nub in my hand.
But that aside, that is definitely the most Fast and Furious
And they
moment.
take on
to
a
it.
whole army with mallets.
But they deactivated their guns. They determined that those guys were nothing without
So
their
do they
guns.
have magic friendship bracelets? Is that what
It was their gloves.
It was the gloves.
The gloves activated the guns.
I thought it was bracelets, like a Fitbit. Like they all had like
No,
fancy
they had
Fitbits.
gloves. And
My watch unlocks my phone.
yeah, they had gloves, and Vanessa Kirby stole one of the gloves from the thing. And so while they're all prepping up their like no man's land and their explosive stuff, she's hacking the gloves so that she can deactivate all their guns for.
Funny thing I
6
noticed,
minutes.
they go, we're going to make this a no man's land. And then they drive through the fucking thing, and the only place they put the exploding barrels are on the shoulder. Yeah. Like they're doing a massive chase through no man's land. And back to like 1917.
Also, no man's land is like 20 miles from their house.
Dude, they circled the entire island of Oahu during that sequence.
They were just like, we'll lose them in no man's land. Like, man, it's a good thing you ended up going that direction.
Well, and speaking of flaws, like, okay, I swear this doesn't really spoil much because they're in this building and at the nuclear power plant, which is also a scientific
The
test,
research
which
facility
makes
thing,
no
yeah.
sense, but whatever. A nuclear facility in Russia is cool. They trigger the super bomb to blow up the building,
And then hockey puck of a
the
super
little
bomb.
the hydrogen super bomb or whatever they fucking call it, which is fine. I'm fine with super bombs. They trigger it, and it blows up. But while it's blowing up and taking out the entire facility, we have a 20-minute chase sequence as the explosion is chasing them.
It's so good. It's fantastic. I loved every bit of it.
Dude, I feel it sounds like I'm bragging on it, but this is okay. This is like what Tarantino did once upon a time in Hollywood, where he's like, what if I could get away with no story? This was like, what if we could just throw science and critical thought out the window entirely? Will people still watch it? Mission successful, because I will watch the fuck out of this movie, and it makes no sense. The plot makes no sense. The virus, no sense. The superhuman with the fancy spine, no sense. His bulletproof suit, like you said, he's got a leather jacket, but somehow he can stop bullets. Like, you take it round to the chest, even if you're wearing Kevlar, your ribs are fucking broken, dude. Like, and his motorcycle, that just like is a fucking transformer.
straight
It's
up a
Optimus
transformer.
Prime.
Yeah.
He's riding fucking Optimus
Straight
Prime.
up like, RC, let's go.
And it rides to him, it changes, it does all these weird, but whatever, it's fucking Idris Elba. So it's amazing.
I ate it up with a spoon.
And I will watch it again. I might go see it again tomorrow night because I want more.
Let me know if you do.
Yeah, Daddy wants more.
And with that, I'm going to step outside
So,
so you
yeah,
guys will
okay,
talk about
no,
spoilers.
Before
Oh,
we go,
what do I need
because
to know?
just one last bit of casting. Helen Mirren is in the movie for 2 scenes and nearly steals the show. She's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
I didn't
That's all I
know
have to
I
say about
wanted
that.
Helen Mirren trying to break out of prison with C4. I didn't know I wanted that.
I would love another spin-off of just her character in prison.
I
Like, 'cause
love
you
her
know she's like
character.
the queen running
Oh,
all
for
the
sure.
drug empire. And like,
For sure, and the guards are keeping me. It's got to be like Hogan's Heroes, where she just like runs around, does whatever she wants, and then just gets back into her cell and is like knitting when they're
Hogan's
like,
Heroes starring Helen Mirren.
Helen, you're not getting up to shenanigans, are you? She's like, oh me? I'm just doing Sudoku puzzles.
I was actually surprised about her on a different movie, like years ago, the Red
Yeah.
movies. And I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. She's an older lady doing this cool car action
I
stuff.
saw an
and
interview
I'm like,
with her on Graham
she's amazing.
Norton,
Yeah.
and she was asked about going on Fast and the Furious, and she goes, I would love to. They look like a lot of fun. You don't have to act. She's like, they blow stuff up and you don't have to act. And I'm like, yes! Like, you look at
gets
it,
it.
like,
She is so
it's The
charming in
Rock
this one, though.
just hitting people and making fun of Jason Statham. It's Jason Statham looking fucking amazing and hitting people and saying cool shit. It's Vanessa Kirby kicking people's ass and looking hot as fuck. Like, it's Helen Mirren doing cool shit. Like, this is the coolest movie. This is as cool as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood wanted to be, but it's so much more fun.
Yeah, and so much more fun than Stuber wanted to be.
Oh, dude, this is Stuber. This makes Stuber look like a high school student film. Like, it looks like the shit I make or even continue to make. Like, it makes Stuber look really bad, and I love
And
Stuber.
Stuber was fun.
It was fun. It was
This
good. It was
just
good.
A lot more fun.
This was just, but it was so ridiculous. Let's talk about the cameo. So, Jason, you haven't seen it, and like really, like these people who make a quick cameo in the movie, or not so quick, aren't listed on IMDb. They're not in the trailers, and having them pop out of the blue is a lot of fun. So, just Go outside. Just go outside. Go in
I'll
the
be on the
garage.
porch.
Go on the porch.
I'm
go in
gonna
the
take
corner.
my whiskey.
You want to top off?
Just a little bit. I don't need to overdo
All
it.
right. You want some stolen whiskey? You tell me when.
There you go. And we'll see you guys next week.
If you haven't seen the movie, check the fuck out because you don't want to spoil it. Are you gone? Good. Fuck off. Okay. So, the first spoiler: Ryan Reynolds.
So good. And we're going to circle back to this, but Ryan Reynolds comes in and the first thing he does is reveal that Dwayne Johnson's Hobbs' middle name is Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And calls him Becky for short. It's like, listen, Becky, here's what I got to do.
And they have the matching tattoos.
Yeah, just waltzes into him and his daughter having like Sunday pancakes at a diner, and it's just like, oh, I'm glad I ran into you
cheat day.
guys. Like, what are you doing? It's like, blah, 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 blah. And he just starts talking about all this stuff in front of his daughter.
Yeah, it literally melts your insides.
Just turns him to soup. Dude, she's nice.
Well, that's why it's great at the end of the movie when he goes, it doesn't turn your insides to soup, it turns your outsides to soup.
Like
your skin just sloughs
like
up.
a silk moto in a hurricane.
Yeah. I would really love to see the shooting script on this to
so
see how
good.
much of that Ryan Reynolds was just
I
improv.
imagine he did a lot of just like rolling improv, and they just
turned the
picked
camera
one
and said,
take. Just do
go
your
ahead.
thing. Like I would expect some like deleted scene bonus feature stuff to surface when this comes out, like on digital or even before, that kind of mirrors him in Deadpool with
yeah.
just the going back and forth of like.
Well, speaking of Deadpool, like, because this director directed Deadpool 2,
Right.
David Leitch. So it brought back Peter from
Yes.
Deadpool 2 as
The other recruiter.
the British recruiter,
The CIA agent that recruits Jason Statham.
who is just as good.
And there's maybe 2 minutes where Ryan Reynolds is talking to him on the phone, and it's
It's
fantastic.
gold. It's perfect.
Just so good.
Like, what do you say? He's like, yeah, like, my guy literally beat me up 20 years ago in a bar, and he still doesn't know who I am.
It's something like that, yeah. He kicked my ass 12 years ago and doesn't recognize me. Well, I guess that's life, though. Just like...
But that's not even the best part. Like, when they're on the airplane, and we get cameo number 3 from, oh my god.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yes.
Kevin Hart as an air
Just turns
marshal.
around.
Guys, cool it.
I know you're a fancy CIA agent and you're a British
I get
MI6
it.
guy.
I get it.
But come on, I get it.
I'm an air marshal. We're 3 alphas, just 3 apex predators on an airplane, stuck up here at 30,000 feet, trying to release our aggressions. Come on. All I'm saying is, you guys need a third member of the team. I'm your guy.
I can't tell you how much I was hoping like we would end up on Hawaii. I knew they were going there because of the trailer, but with Kevin Hart, little Kevin Hart, you know, shirtless,
Yeah.
doing the fucking like Polynesian like chest like
You sure?
what's it? I'm so
Samoan,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the
I
war cry
wanted that
stuff.
so bad, but we got him in the bathroom stall instead,
It was good.
which was great.
It was perfect because he's still like advertising to be their third member.
He's like, you can get me.
I'm just hanging out here in my lair. And I'm like,
You have my Hotmail.
Yeah.
You got my LinkedIn.
I'm gonna give you my mom's number because if you can't reach me, she can reach me, and just you give her a call.
I mean, just Kevin Hart being Kevin Hart
Yeah.
with The Rock. And if you haven't noticed,
Message me on LinkedIn.
like the Rock and Kevin Hart have this weird online thing. I mean, they're friends, but where they're constantly ragging on each other.
It's so good. And that could sum up this movie so much. It's just like people that you could tell like have a lot of chemistry and work well together, and just like throwing insults at each other.
That's all it was.
It was so good.
Like this was everything I wanted it to be, and I went in with really high expectations. Yeah. If you go see Hobbs and Shaw and you walk out being like, that was lame, it wasn't fun, I bet you're not very much fun at parties either. Like, if you can't have fun in Hobbs and Shaw, you got to pull that giant stick out of your ass. Right?
Go back to your
is it like-
spreadsheets.
Go back to the IRS, asshole. I bet you like auditing people.
Probably really enjoy building templates in Excel.
I bet you torture bugs for fun, you masochistic little fuck.
If you were a snack item, you'd probably be unsalted peanuts.
You know what? I won't go there.
That's a personal one.
I'm a little tipsy.
That's the point of this show.
Yeah.
We did talk about the voice.
What's that? Oh, but the voice.
The voice.
I mean, you think it's Ryan Reynolds.
A lot of people
A lot of people think it's Ryan Reynolds.
I was
so
really-
so we're gonna circle into like this. This movie has 4 post-credit, mid-credit
They're
scenes.
kind of the same.
Yeah, 2 of them are directly connected. Slow. I gotta drive.
That's true. I don't.
Yeah. But yeah,
Post-credit
so
sequence.
post-credit sequence. So there are 4 mid to post-credit sequences here. 2 of them are Ryan Reynolds talking to Hobbs. At first, he's talking to his daughter, Sally Sam.
And he goes, "Oh yeah,
something
you
like
sound
that.
just
You
like
sound
her."
just like your dad. Put Hobbs. This is me. Yeah, I know but I need you to put Hobbs on the phone. Really record yourselves. You sound exactly alike. So much chemistry, so quotable. But yeah, there's a lot of people talking. That's going to set up a next one. Dwayne Johnson tweeted something about there being more Ryan Reynolds stuff to come out, possibly in a sequel movie. A lot of people, myself included, are hoping for a prequel, maybe a Locke and Hobbs movie.
Oh, that would be great.
That goes into Rwanda and all the stuff he talked about in the diner, shows them getting the best friends, like a pretty
matching tattoos.
and matching tattoos, and all this backstory stuff that like pops in there.
I mean, it's great that Ryan Reynolds has a fucking tribal tattoo. It's
so
hard
good.
to understate just how much fun this is. It's been a really tough couple years in America if you haven't been paying attention.
What?
Yeah. I mean, we're out of Northern California. There was just that Gilroy shooting. Things aren't great. And it was nice to escape to the theater when things were just fun.
Yeah. Just
Not to
something
get
just-
dark and gloomy, but this is like, I really needed this. And
Yeah, it was good to laugh. It was good to not have something have to have the emotional weight of
Right.
something like the Avengers
Totally.
or other movies that like trying to really hit home. Even like Stranger Things ended on a real kind of
Oh my
somber like
God.
life changes, life is hard kind of thing. I'm just like
the ending tore me apart.
I just need to feel lighthearted for a while.
I see a big dude hit smaller dudes.
Oh man.
I love this movie so much.
But kind of, circling back to post-credit things, the very last one has Ryan Reynolds saying, so, oh yeah, by the way, I stabbed a guy with a brick.
Oh yeah, because that's the running joke.
Yeah, it's like, turns out it's kind of easy. And so there's a lot of joke, like either that's just a callback to like, how do you stab someone with a brick? There's no sharp edges. Like you have to be either really strong or you'd have to have like no bones or something. So, there's already kind of internet buzz of going, is he augmented now? Is he part of the new
because
group?
a lot of people are talking like he could have been the
Yeah,
voice.
he could be the secret voice. That's clearly going to be into a sequel. We're going to be hunting down who the leader of this
Okay, here's a
secret
question.
government is.
Kind of a hot take type
Sure.
question. Do you want another Fast and the Furious movie next, or do you want a Hobbs and Shaw movie next?
Well, we're getting another Fast and Furious movie
what
next.
would you like?
I think I would like a Fast and Furious movie, and I want it just to every year bounce between the two.
Okay.
I want a Fast and Furious movie, like basically do Star Wars, where we're going. This
So
is
like
part
Star
of the
Wars
main,
Avatar now?
Yeah, it's just we're doing a Star Wars, and then we're gonna do like an offshoot. We're gonna do a Rogue One.
Well, no, now Star Wars is doing like Disney's doing Star Wars.
and
you
an
get an Avatar, and then a
Yeah,
Star Wars, then
and I'd rather not have an Avatar. Give me 2 more Hobbs and Shaw movies and 1 less Avatar.
I feel like such a prick because I was one of those guys that went and saw Avatar. And I was like,
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I've seen this
Yeah, we're
before.
friends.
Yeah.
Boom.
I was like, I saw this, but it was called Ferngully.
Ferngully, Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. Nah.
There's lots of.
Does it
retelling
need
that
4
story.
more movies?
No, probably not. I don't even know where you'd go with it from here. Like, what? Are they
Unobtainium?
just going to send more people for Unobtainium? Or are they going to find out, like, oh, it turns out an Avatar
No.
body can only last for 4 years before
like,
it starts deteriorating.
Unobtainium, just
We're
like-
going to send Blade Runners after him. I knew that'd get you.
Oh, fuck me. Well, this has been Whiskey Movie Club. We were drinking stolen whiskey aged 11 years, and it did the job and got us fucked.
It did good.
So, if you want to follow us, why the fuck would you?
But why not? I don't know.
I don't know.
Follow everyone else.
We post cute videos.
and we probably reply back.
Yeah, we have nothing else to do. Yeah, we're drinking stolen whiskey. You know, the more I drink, the more I liked it. It's got a weird, I say this lovingly,
Yeah.
it's got kind of almost like a chemically taste, but in a good way.
It's what I'm going to start calling a party whiskey.
Yeah.
If you want to drink it, but not really have to think about like, ooh, I need to sit and savor these complex notes and flavors and stuff. It's not a armchair whiskey where you're going to be like, I'm just going to sit and relax and drink and like, oh yeah, really appreciate it. But it's like I can drink it. It's not bad tasting, but it's not so overly complex that I'm like going to miss out appreciating it if I mix it with something.
Absolutely. If I was going to rate it on a 10 scale, I would say, based on price, it'd be a 6 or 7 for taste.
6.
10 with label.
Yeah, label
10.
top notch.
Like, dude, marketing
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
As someone, as a
Your
fellow
graphic
creative,
designer guy.
this is
you
fantastic.
did it. You nailed
This is
it.
really great. I fucking love this. And as far as Hobbs and Shaw go, you need to see it. If you disagree, comment below. Tell us what we got wrong, or what was your favorite moment? What was your favorite line? Or what should we be drinking other than stolen whiskey aged 11 years? All right. Well, this has been Whiskey Movie Club. You can find me at Real Jason Miller. You're
Captain Frucci.
Captain Frucci on the social media.
And
And
Jason
Jason, he's invisible. He's not here.
You can find me at Jason Knight at
No, he's,
Instagram and
JD Knight. I
JD
believe
Knight. Yeah.
You can find
There,
it
I
like
nailed it.
you
Perfect,
just
Jason.
click in the description below for any
Gotcha.
social media links.
If you Google search Travis Frucci, not a lot of people come
Yeah,
up.
you have a weird ass last name.
Yeah.
Do you have problems when people with teachers pronouncing your name?
I have problems with everyone pronouncing my last name.
Yeah,
I give people rounds of applause when they get it right the first time.
What's the proper pronunciation? Frucci, right?
Frucci. Well, okay, I could dig into a can of worms and that's
Let's
probably
not.
where we just cut
Let's
the
just.
video.
You know what? Thank you for watching, and here's to. I was gonna say our tagline.
Swimming with
Here's to
bow-legged
swimming with
women.
bow-legged women. Good night.
It's not our tagline. It's just a thing we say.
I don't know until we come up with something else.
Until it comes to better.